Hello everybody, welcome to Honor Wrestling Club. In today's video we'll be counting down how Triple H was punished following Starr's breaking character in an iconic scene as the Attitude Era dawned all the way back in 1996. As we've already said, welcome to Honor Wrestling Club. It means a lot that you're here today, and we cherish each and every single one of you who takes the time out of your days to spend a little bit of it here with us. And we appreciate it, and we'd just like to welcome you to the club. And to say that if you are new here, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button and hit that notification bell to make sure you never miss out any of the fun content that we produce here at Honor Wrestling Club. Today's story is a wild one, so be sure that you've got your snacks and drinks ready and be ready to join the adventure. Welcome to the club. In the year before the Montreal Screwjob, WCW was busy poaching many of WWE's top stars. Among them were the likes of Razor, Scott Hall Ramone and Kevin Diesel Nash, who made the switch in 1996 following Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage in 1994 and Lex Luger in 1995. Hall was arguably the greatest intercontinental champion of his generation while wrestling as Razor Ramon, a very obvious parody of Tony Montana played by Al Pacino from 1983's fantastic film Scarface. Ramon would feature in two iconic ladder matches against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 10 in 1994 and then again against the Heartbreak Kid at SummerSlam 1995 in a match that was parachuted in to save that show from being the absolute worst. And you can check out what we think are the worst wrestling pay-per-views of all time in a previous video, so be sure to check that one out after this video. However, back to this list. Nash, on the other hand, exploded onto the WWE scene in 1994 as Shawn Michaels' bodyguard, and over the course of the year would hold every championship on offer, the Intercontinental Championship, the Tag Team Championship, and would round out the year following Survivor Series 1994, winning the WWE Championship off Bob Backlund in 8 seconds, that reign would go on to last the better part of a year. Come 1996, however, the promise of a huge payday had resulted in the two men agreeing contracts with WCW, and on May 19, 1996, they would take part in one of the most stunning instances of wrestlers breaking character ever, in a moment that would go on to live in wrestling folklore as the curtain call. There seemed to be very little amiss when Michaels defeated and exiting Kevin Nash in a steel cage match at the end of the show at the iconic Madison Square Garden. The sight of Hall entering the ring and hugging Michaels might have been unusual enough given their storied rivalry, but even so, at the time they were both baby faces, good guy wrestlers, so fans in attendance might have overlooked it. Things would take a turn, however, when Triple H, portrayed by Paul Levesque, who was a good pal of the duo, entered the ring and would hug Scott Hall and then would swiftly hug Kevin Nash. The duo were heels at the time, that being Triple H and Kevin Nash, who were wrestling as antagonists and rivals to fan favourites. Keeping in mind this was in 1996, so the illusion of kayfabe was still alive and well, with no established online wrestling community to pull down the facade, much to the chagrin of Jim Cornette. As such, the sight of the four men randomly hugging before turning to face the crowd and celebrate as a farewell to their backstage politicking group known as the Kliq, which also featured a young upstart Sean X-Pac Waltman, who at the time was going by the 1-2-3 Kid, would have been astonishing, and it left company officials furious. Thankfully for them, it was a non-televised event, so there was no global audience for the rogue action to be screened to. However, unlucky for them, one fan did manage to smuggle in an amateur camera that managed to capture the chaos in a video that's since gone down in wrestling fan folklore. The obliteration of kayfabe would no doubt have been seen as damaging and costly to Vince McMahon and co, despite them initially signing off on it. So a mighty punishment was in store for these rebels. There was only one real issue though, was that Hall and Nash were all but out the door, and Michaels was your champion at the time, so he was an unrealistic target of retribution for McMahon, wasn't he? The only man left to face the brunt of McMahon's anger would be Levesque, An astonishing thought, given he went on to marry McMahon's daughter Stephanie and take over his role of head of creative for WWE just over 25 years on from the incident. It's rumoured that Triple H, at the time a relative novice by comparison, was given a demotion of sorts, forced to wrestle away from championship contention, and in decidedly less interesting rivalries for some time afterwards. The late great Scott Hall at least hinted towards as much, saying that Michaels allowed his pal to take the rap for the impromptu celebration. Hall told 83 Weeks he kind of threw Triple H under the bus that night at the Garden. Triple H was supposed to get the big push. He was supposed to get the Stone Cold spot. He said in reference to Austin's win and birth promo that saw the birth of 316 at the King of the Ring event in 1996, which is considered by some to be the birth of the Attitude Era. They were grooming him for that, but then Vince had to punish somebody for the obliteration of kayfabe. Levesque would go on to become King of the Ring, however, in 1997, the following year, before going on to enjoy a career for the ages as the top heel on the brand. So he didn't come out of the curtain call all that badly. 18 months or so later, Michaels would again be embroiled in controversy, this time after going along with a plan of McMahon's and Triple H's that resulted in one of the most talked about endings to a wrestling match and show ever, the Montreal Screwjob. The incident saw Michaels defeat Bret Hart to become WWE Champion, but that story is one for the ages and one that is covered far too much on the internet, so we won't go into it here. But if you want to find out anything about it, just type in anything to do with Bret Hart, really. It'll probably come up as one of the first few things. But there you have it. There's our video. So what did you think? Did you know about this obliteration of kayfabe that happened in the 90s? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. And did you think it was fair that Triple H was given the whole punishment? Again, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button and hit that notification bell to make sure you never miss out on any of the content we produce here at On Wrestling Club. Your support really does mean a lot to us, and every single bit of feedback is valued, even if we don't quite get a chance to reply to it. Be sure to share this video around with your friends and let them learn more about the wonderful world of professional wrestling and the backstage egos that are at play. However, that's all for this time, so I'd just like to thank you for watching and welcome to the club. See ya!